XOXO, got the girl. Pose. Hi loves, what's up? It's me, Audra, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm not sure how you got here, but certainly I'm glad you came. And if you are new here, well, you're in for a treat. All right, if you...
Hi, you are going to see the fuzzy part of the mic for a while. I'm going to be struggling with this in several videos because I have not figured out how to make this be awesome, but I was trying to fix my sound. So yes, I know you can see it. And no, you don't have to tell me in the comments. Thank you.
You enjoy chaotic, frenetic energy. You like beauty. You like horror with a little bit of commentary thrown in between. Then I suggest you go on ahead and subscribe for the low, low price of $0. I will tell you a random fact about myself. And today's random fact, I'm stunning in this dress. Maybe I'll put a photo on Instagram. Maybe I won't. But the point was, I wanted to be dressed up and I wanted to be fancy as fuck, and here we are. And here are my socials. I love hanging out with y'all there. I have really been enjoying spending time chatting with y'all. You know. And anyway, I'm sure you're asking yourself, Audra, what's the occasion? And what are we here with today, Audra? Well, it is that time. It is time for the bops and the flops. And for those of you who are new here, I don't necessarily do a favorites video because for me, a favorite has to be something that I would use when I'm not wearing, like when I'm not filming, And I do have those, but I feel like I need to do something separate for those at some later date. And actually I tend to do those live with my dear friend, Emily Han. So if you're ever wondering what some of my favorite things are, Emily and I do a 5 for 5 live, and we're trying to get to once every month talking about our 5 favorite things. However, today, darling, I look like I've gotten divorced from murdering my first, second, third husband. Anyhow, we're going to be doing our bops and flops, and I'm just going to be talking about subscriber gifts, PR, my bops for the month, and my flops. And moving forward, I'm more than likely moving this video to a bi-monthly session. So just prepare yourself. It's going to be a little while. It might be a long video. Before we get started, a drink. Almost the entire beer. Okay, I'm done being extra weird, but like, am I? All right, so the gifts that I received from, and thank you. First of all, when I talk about subscriber gifts, I just want you to know you are under zero obligation to send me anything at all. It's okay. But for those of you who do, I do have my P.O. box listed in the description box, and I thank all of you for the wonderful things that you have sent. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is gonna encompass December and what? January. All right, I'm actually gonna start with something you can't see because I'm not gonna unplug it and bring it over, but a huge, warm, wonderful thank you to a subscriber for sending me a PS4 that they were no longer gonna be using. If you see me gaming on Twitch, that's what I'm using, and if it hadn't been for you, honestly, I would have forgotten how much I love playing video games, and I am enjoying it to the fullest extent. So I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for sending that over. There aren't words for it, and I am just loving the game life again. So next up, we have the one, the only, the Marc Jacobs. Look at this. This is the Omega Glaze highlighter. It is gorgeous and stunning, and it actually looks very good on my skin. I'm not currently wearing it, but oh my gosh. When I am looking for that like bronzy goddess look like this does it. Ooh, you can see the mess. pretend you didn't, but thank you. I absolutely adore this with my entire heart. Side note, as people have not given me permission to use their names, I will not be using their names. However, you know who you are, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. This lovely calendar, this one I'm gonna be able to use their name because I do believe, like, it's on here and they made a calendar. But this lovely calendar, so fun. I am very excited. I hadn't put it up yet because I wanted to wait until I had finished my video, but it's such a fun, wonderful calendar, gorgeous photography, beautiful pictures, and I am so excited. I'm probably going to put you, está aquí? Sí, all right. Ooh, and look how it turned to my birthday month, and you're basically dressed like the devil. I love it. All right, so thank you. It also, that same person also sent me, you know, a beautiful card and just fun stickers. I'm really excited. I'm gonna be able to put these are like, it looks like they're die cut stickers, so I'm gonna be able to put these super fun stickers on my drink cups when I'm being a bougie bitch and like, look at me, I'm drinking with a straw. Also, someone sent me, fantastically, some makeup. They sent me Sydney Grace powder, the Kaleidos palette, and 2 other Kaleidos palettes. These I actually already have, so there's going to be some decisions I'm gonna have to make. Don't get excited, I'm not positive I'm doing a giveaway. It's my least favorite thing to do as an ADHD person. Causes me so much stress. But if I do, I will let you know, and it will most likely be done on Twitter because I've heard Hannah from Smoky Glow so that is easier, and if anything to make my life easier, I'm gonna do. One of y'all was super kind and sent me 3 Give Me Glow highlighters. I've already used one. I cannot find where I put it. I guarantee you it's probably in the highlighter drawer. But thank you so much for sending me that, as well as being kind enough to send me 2 new Marc Jacobs The Face brushes. I really appreciate it. That is my favorite brush. That is something I will say is my favorite. That is my favorite complexion brush, bar none. To the end of time. To the end of time. That is my favorite complexion brush. There will never be another. I don't know what I'm gonna do if Marc Jacobs stops selling it. It's so hard to get my hands on. Every time I try, it's like sold out. So I thank you from the very bottom and top and middle of my heart for those brushes. They're currently dirty. They're getting washed. I said it with an R because I'm from Washington. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Apologies. And one of you very, very kindly sent me a Christmas card, which I have put up my Christmas decorations, like the few that I had, and I don't know where I put them up at, but thank you so much. The notes and cards are so appreciated from y'all. Many of y'all actually sent me notes, and I, like, letters, you know, I was getting letters. I felt like, you know, such a, like, 1950s war wife, you know, like, Delilah, it's been a minute since I have talked to you. You know what I mean? So sorry, he was like both Southern and British. Anyways, that was very nice. Thank you all so much. I appreciate all of the things that y'all do for me. And I don't know what I do to deserve this kind of grace, but thank you. All right, I gathered all of my PR in one gorgeous place, and now we're going to talk about the PR that I received in December and January. Remember, some of these items will not have like an opinion formed on them yet. Some of it I have not been able to use fully yet to have an opinion. I'm just letting you know so that when you see it moving forward, you also remember that it's PR. And also keep in mind that some of this shit I have here I didn't buy myself, you know? So it's unrealistic to try to have the same standards as someone on YouTube. Cheers, let us drink. My back is sweating. All right, so first up, I'm gonna be talking about Midas. I have a lot of stuff from Midas. I got their setting powder, which I have used this a couple of times so far. I like it, but I haven't used it in a capacity where I could really judge it yet. I think one of the things I like is that it's not overly thick, and I do like the color. Bo shaking himself. I also received their sponge and some of their brushes, and in fact, these sponges were so nice. What did I do? The sponge so nice, I bought it twice. Over. I actually purchased these. Yes, I did. And if you're thinking to yourself, but Audra, you get stuff in PR. Why didn't you ask for them for free? Because the reality is, just because a brand is kind enough to send me PR, it doesn't mean I just stop purchasing. You know what I mean? Like for me, that's weird. For me, like other people can do what they want. But I think it's still important for me to continue buying from brands because if they thought enough of me to put me on their PR list, I still think enough of them to spend my actual money on buying shit. So I did buy a bunch of these. I now have altogether, what, 5. So now you see, I couldn't buy just 2 of them because then I'd only have 3, and I couldn't buy 3 of them because then I'd have 4. So obviously the correct choice was 4 so that I would have 5. 1 for every day of the week, except for Saturday and Sunday, because those are days of makeup rest. Just kidding, I made that up. All right, then I also received the Midas Volume 2 Artistry Palette. I can't open it because of the magnet, and I'm trying not, it's a very strong magnet, but look at how pretty she is. I did use this live when I got it, and I will try to remember to link that, so that's a thing. I also received the cake liners, which I have been using off and on. I really love them so far. I like that you get them wet and then use them. You can kind of mix them. I have been enjoying them. I especially obviously love the black the most, but what's really cool about these so far that I found is like in pictures, all right? When you put this on, sometimes you're thinking to yourself like, oh, you can barely see the orange, and then I take a picture and it's like pow, and I'm like, I don't know how that happened, but okay. But I really like these. I'm sweating. There was also the very lovely Flower Bomb palette, which I finally got. I did get this in PR, and I love most of it. I'm gonna say most. I've been playing with it a little bit. I love most of it. This is also one of the palettes I will be using in my palette challenge 2021. If you're interested, you'll see me talking using varying palettes, and I believe it's getting to be about time for me to put up which palette I should do next, because sharing is caring. But I'm enjoying this so far. We'll find out more moving on down the year. And also I got several brushes. I definitely want to talk about this one because I repurchased it. Again, so nice. I repurchased it twice. I love this set brush because you can use it as a blush and you can use it for setting, and it's a very versatile brush. Greatly enjoy it. It's, you know, it's got this point on it that I really, really like. It's the point for me dog. It just makes it so that when you're putting it underneath your eye, it's very pointed, but it's also a very soft brush. So I really like these brushes, and I'm so lucky to have received them in PR, and that's why I went ahead and purchased some more of them. All right, so that's it for Midas. Next up, we have Nomad Cosmetics. I did receive the Iceland Fire and Ice palette. You saw this one in action in, I believe, my e.l.f. video, but you also saw me do that for the first time live on Emily Hanhan's channel. And for those of you that haven't gotten to see the inner glory, I feel like you have. This is her. Just doing magic things. Dance magic. Okay, sorry. It actually should be getting down with the fire gang. Finally for PR, I also, well, not finally for makeup PR, I received the Ferocious Beauty Darkness Rising palette. If you have not seen the video of me trying this, I'm also wearing the lippy. Listen. This palette is grabbing a hold of my heart in a way that I was not expecting. It's so beautiful. I just created like one of the most beautiful looks I've created in a long time. I was not prepared. Yes, I still have the like little plastic on the mirror. I often do that. I get nervous about taking it off. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But I just love this palette. I just think it's so pretty, and I cannot wait to play with it more. And I've had to like keep my hands off of it just to be able to do other things. All right, so big ups to Ferocious Beauty. Thank you for sending that to me. Thank you to Nomad, and thank you to Midas. Okay, now we're gonna go into skincare PR, of which I did receive some. So I received the Moisture Eyes and the Bright and Tight Serum. This came from Science Serum. These are them. All right, so let's talk about these. The Moisturize, I really adore this. I've been using this for a long time, so I do have a bit of a perspective. This is very moisturizing, very rich. It feels good around my eyes. It is nourishing. I love it. The Bright and Tight, I'm not necessarily in love with. Here's the thing, it does provide a temporary lift of wrinkles because it's kind of like a glue almost that you put onto your eyes, you leave it for 5 minutes, then you rinse, and then you follow with the moisturize. Me personally, I'm not a fan of this, and I think a lot of it has to do with my type of skincare routine. My type of skincare routine does not include having to wait 5 minutes for this. Like if I've masked and then I do the, and then it's this, I'm really on a trip to have my skincare routine be, you know, it may be product rich, but simple. I don't like it when my products are going to cause me to wait for an inordinate amount of time, because usually by the time I'm doing this, like I'm trying to go to bed. And one of the recommendations they had was like use it in the shower. I kept forgetting, and then I would get out of the shower and be like, oh, I'm too tired. So this I wasn't in love with, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this Moisture Eyes, I adored this. I loved this so much. It was so comfortable. Bo, anyway, it was so comfortable and nice, and it just felt nice. And the other thing about it it wasn't too much. It wasn't too thick, because I know that there's some eye serums and eye moisturizers and eye creams that are so thick that at times it just kind of feels like it's too much for that area, and you kind of feel bogged down in it. And I did not feel bogged down with this. So thank you, Science Serum. I appreciate you. See, I told you I would get to it. Okay, sports fans, we are back, and now we're going to talk about the flops for December and January. Now, I am going to warn you, a lot of these items are things that I went back to, revisited, and was like, bitch, what? So let's go ahead and get started with the flops. So I know that y'all are gonna come for me on this, and I'm not trying to hear that, because today is a lovely day, no matter what day it is. And I wanna talk about the JD Glow liners. So I had originally had these as Bops. These are their liquid gel liners. Here's the thing though. Upon revisitation, the problem I have with these liners is they become crust city on the eyes, especially after having used some other forms. The issue that I run into, I'm going to put a little on my hand, is that as it dries, it just becomes crust, which is not great for taking pictures, and also for my eyes that get highly sensitive. It is not great for that either, because it just becomes such an annoyance at some point that I can't even keep the makeup on long enough to like have some fun, or, you know, wander around my park looking sexy as fuck for no reason. I just stumbled on the words because I was like, should I say fuck or should I not say fuck? And so I said it. Anyway, I just decided that I just don't love these, and I in fact prefer the like gel liners. I have one from Suva Beauty as well. I like the ones that are water activated, because for me the water activated ones are just not coming up crust. Okay? All right, so these are flops now. I am actually finally gonna go ahead and get rid of these, because I kept wondering why I wasn't reaching for them, and then I reached for them and I was like, oh yeah, the crust. And you can kind of see here as it's drying, it starts to dry. I don't know if you're actually gonna see that it's hard, but it starts to dry and it's fairly hard. And I'm just not a fan. And you know, I'm not young. In Earth years, I'm old. My planet, I'm just a babe. All right, next up, I wanna talk about the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. This is such a shame. I really feel like this product would have been wonderful if they had not put it in this damn clicky pin. I actually got 2 of them, and the shade is beautiful. It actually gives a little bit of like a glow, and it does brighten the under eye area. But I hate this delivery system with my entire heart. The amount of effort that you have to put in getting this clicky pin to squeeze up the product, and you can never get enough product in the tippy top of this thing. It's very annoying. You spend so much time. You spend more time trying to get the product out than putting the product on your face. It blends marvelously well, but it has to be a flop for me because the delivery system, hot garbage. I'm not a fan. I don't know if I can return these, and if I can't, that is okay. That's sometimes the risk of doing business. But yeah, I'm gonna have to chuck these into the garbage because I do not like them at all, and I don't want to see them again. I don't want to see your face. All right, next up we're going to talk about the Milani Dangerous Lengths Mascara. I have been going through my old mascaras to determine what can stay and what can go. And this is going to have to go. Sorry, it keeps popping in and out of focus. I don't know what it's trying to focus on. It's probably part of my tattoo. This is crusty. This is a very crusty mascara. And I thought that the first time I tried it, because I kind of take like little notes about each mascara. And I was like, well, maybe it's not, it's crusty. It's crusty. I don't like the way that it feels on my lashes. And I think that it might have to do with the applicator. I really don't know, but I am not a fan. My lashes always just feel like kind of hard and stiff. And that is not what I'm going for. I know it's mascara, but I don't like my eyes feeling hard and stiff. So I'm sorry, Milani's brand I actually do love, but this mascara can kick rocks. Next up, we have Danessa Myricks. So I have the Vision Cream Cover. I did get it in the small size. And since the trial size, I guess you would call it. Trial. The thing about this is, since I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to get into a little bit more cream product, like whatever, I hate the way this sits on my face. The shade is beautiful. It actually looks stunning on, but I hate it on my face. I have tried a number of different ways, but I don't like it. And it very well is more me and not liking cream as the base product for my face and less to do with the product. I just don't like it on my face. I think the Danessa Myricks is fabulous and wonderful, but I cannot wear this. It just feels, I just don't like it. It feels very heavy on my face. And it doesn't matter how little I put on, it just feels heavy. And I think that that's an issue with cream. It's an issue I've had with cream products for a very long time. And this one is no different. I just don't like it. I just don't like that I can feel it. I can feel it and I don't like it. Okay. Next up, I'm sure many of you aren't surprised to see this here, but it is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. If you have not seen me, a black person in blackface, wearing this, well, you're in for a treat. I'll see if I can remember to link the video. I did a full face of ColourPop. This ain't it. It's not even that the shade wasn't right. And it was very, very difficult. Listen, my shade matching skills for buying makeup, like buying foundation, sight unseen in the sense of I didn't get to put it on my hot little hand and shade match it to me, is kind of an unmatched thing. It's like a little bit of my superpower. And when I tell you the shock and awe I had just trying to pick a shade from ColourPop was immense. It was a whole mess. It took a while. I kept going back and forth to pictures. Finally chose this based off its picture. It is very red. I look ridiculous. And also it feels like hot garbage on my face. It feels as if a old dead snail with like not enough slime slid across my face and left a mark that I did not ask for. And so I don't like this at all. If I can return it, I will. If I cannot, I will just dunk it, because honestly, at this point in my life, I don't need to look like that. That was just a whole ass mess. And could it be my fault that I picked the wrong shade? Obviously. But the way it feels cannot be changed. It feels like garbage on my face. It's just horrible. It's horrible. Next up, y'all didn't even get to see me try this, but I tried it and I hated it instantly. It is the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. It is not a tinted skin veil. It is also extraordinarily dry. It does not, I got two of these. I can't find where the other one is because I couldn't figure out the shade. But it's so dry. It's so dry. And they're like, oh, it's seamless coverage. It provides an even skin tone. It's so dry, I can't even really get it on my face. And that was with multiple different hydrating primers. It's just dry. And it's weird for an oily face bitch like myself to be telling you that something is dry. But dry it was.
Hi, me again. It turns out we lost the audio for the rest of the video, so it's just gonna be me doing a voiceover. Hopefully I do you justice, and I'm sorry that my lips will be moving in a way in which the sound is not. Okay, here we go. Continuing with flops is the ColourPop Cherish palette. Now, here's the thing. I tried it. It's okay, but the reality of the situation is that for the shimmers, you really have to dig in there to get the payoff that you want. And I'm not a fan of having to do that. I'm sure many of you aren't as well. You can get that payoff, but you have to get in there. I'm showing you both of the shimmers here and just kind of letting you know, like, these ones were very, very pretty if you didn't have to dig. I did, however, fully much enjoy the glitter sparkly shade that showed up here because the glitter was evenly dispersed, and it's actually very difficult to find a good glittery eyeshadow that has glitter in it that disperses properly and doesn't just have like one spot of glitter, which is really fucking annoying. Because a lot of those will have glitter and then it's just like, why is the glitter in one spot? Also, the glitter didn't fall all over my face, which I appreciated as well. Next. Oop, and I forgot to mention one important point, which was that many people were talking about the price point of this versus their 9-pan palettes, and I do not have that same gripe because if Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath and varying other luxury brands can do basically the same thing, I don't see why ColourPop wouldn't do the same thing. Brands follow trends, and of course ColourPop is going to follow that trend of not necessarily pricing the smaller palettes significantly less, but I do feel like the palette overall is kind of cheap, and this is me showing you the shimmers on my hand, but I do feel like the palette overall is kind of cheap. The shades don't seem to be holding into the palette that well, so it's not well constructed. It's okay, and it's a little bit chalky, a little dusty, if you will. And now let us cheers, because the flops are over and we're moving on to the bops. All right, so first up, this surprised the ever-loving shit out of me. Look at my face. It's looking gorgeous. Obviously, we're going to be talking about a complexion product, and it is the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. Y'all, the way I am stunned by this, because for the US and at this price point in the US, it's relatively inexpensive, which I was just like, how do you make this? What kind of magic are you doing? What kind of witchcraft is being done over at your factories? But this foundation is lit. It's so beautiful. And what I'm going to tell you, I know it's going to shock you, but it is as close as it can be to like the Pat McGrath and the Giorgio Armani at a lower price point. Now, obviously, it is going to have a little bit more transfer, some stuff like that that maybe you're not in love with, but listen, I'm going to drink on it because that stunned me. This is, to me, a cheaper alternative to that. It feels very nice on the skin. It doesn't feel like you're wearing foundation. It does wear very well. In this video, I had that on at 10:45 a.m. I was filming this video right around 5 p.m. And when I tell you, I did not refresh it. I did not refresh the makeup. I did not change anything. I literally took a nap, woke up, my skin was still flawless, and bitch, I can't deal with it. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. And Catrice, I don't know what you did to this. I don't know what kind of witchcraft was done. I don't know whose soul you sold, but this is amazing. And I absolutely love it. And this is me just telling you the same thing that I just said. So anyway, on to the next bop. Yeah. And with another complexion product, we definitely need to talk about the e.l.f. CC Camo Cream. This shit is also lit. I was very surprised by how nice it was, how well it wore. Again, another foundation that is inexpensive and beautiful. They say that it's full coverage. I personally didn't feel like it was like full coverage, but again, I'm also used to some pretty intense full coverage foundations. I felt like this was light on my skin. It covered imperfections, and of course, I ended up using it in tandem with my favorite primer, the Tarte Double Duty Base Tape. I know, I show this all the time. It's another bop. It's always gonna be a bop. You're gonna see this in here several times a year. Why? Because it's my favorite. If I cannot get a complexion product to work, this is my last fail-safe. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hand over the Tarte. And if the Tarte cannot make it work, then it's trash. So both the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream and the Tarte Double Duty Base Tape are bops this month. I cannot express to you how much I enjoyed both of them. So yeah, on to the next thing, which are the e.l.f. Putty Blushes.
totally in love with them. They're so beautiful. I got one in Maldives and the other one, I cannot remember the name, but if you have seen the elf video, you know the name. It is actually quite stunning. I was very surprised by how this wears on my skin because I'm oily, and I was really afraid that it was going to be very porous. It was going to like make my pores look bigger, but instead that one gave me like a nice light wash of color. And that's when I'm doing more of like a natural, like sun-kissed look. And I'm actually wearing the other one, the Maldives, on my face in this video, and I dig it. It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. I put a little powder on top and it was just beautiful. I was very surprised by how well that these wore, and I feel like I can definitely do well with cream blushes. I can do good with cream products as a topper, just not as my base product, but I really like those blushes. Quite lovely. Again, the first one, nice wash of color. The second one makes me feel a little bit dangerous. So moving on to the next product. I hate you, lawnmower people. Yeah. All right, sports fans, we are back and we are talking about mascara. And one of the ones I definitely wanted to touch on was the Essence 24 Ever Volume Mascara, Defined Volume. It's so lovely. I like it a lot. And again, I'm getting very surprised by these brands. Like Elf also has their mascara, which I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but listen, I'm going to put in an insert. We're going to move on. These mascaras are quite lovely. They don't leave my eyelashes feeling stiff. They're soft, they're curled, they're defined without too much muss. I really enjoyed them. So yeah, those are definitely bops. Moving on. I am fully aware that I just ripped ColourPop a new one. However, the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer, oh, I love it. So pretty. It gives like this weird little like beautiful glow. I don't know how it's doing it, but I really ended up liking it. I was able to color match this easily, which leads me to believe, like the Taurus I am, that I was correct about their foundation and the shades are just shit. However, the concealer, ugh, chef's kiss. It's so pretty. It is actually very creamy, feels lovely on the skin. You can actually use a lot of it if you want to go in heavy, and it's still gonna go look very nice on your face. And I'm very surprised by that. Like, I just wasn't expecting ColourPop to hand over the goods the way it did with this, but look at how gorgeous my face is. Yeah. And while we are riding the ColourPop train, we need to talk about their cream gel liners because these are bae. I love them so much. I want to live my entire life with them. If they came out with bunches and bunches of colors, which I think that they should, because in 2021, we really need to like come out with as many colored eyeliners as you can. I first actually started playing with these when I got them with the ColourPop RBK collab. They're gorgeous and I just love them. They actually stay in my waterline, which is super rare for me. A lot of them don't, and typically the only shades that actually stay in my waterline tend to be deep greens and deep blues, and everything else just kind of fades away into nothingness or just looks like hot shit. But these stay, and they're beautiful, and they're easy to use. The only thing with them is that whenever they show up in the mail, they're always kind of like broken, so that's a thing. But honestly, these are amazing. They are definitely bops. I want to live my life with cream gel eyeliners in my lash line. Oh, I know this is getting weird, but we're gonna just keep going. Now that Bo is settled comfortably on my feet and basically making my legs go to sleep, I want to talk about a skincare item that I've talked about in the past, but I completely forgot about because I hadn't been using it. But my skin was getting dry, like thirsty dry. And here I come going, oh yeah, I have my tea tree facial cleanser. This shit is bae. I forgot how much I love this, but when my skin starts getting problematic in any way, shape, or form, there's something about this that always resets. It just resets my skin. Now my skin is no longer dry. I don't have the dry patches that I was experiencing. It's taking some of the hydration that I'm putting into it, and it just looks amazing. Like I don't have words for this, and I know that there's like issues surrounding the Body Shop being an MLM. I bought this from the store, so there is that.
but I forgot how magnificent this face wash is. So, moving on to some more skincare. All right, put on your fuzzy socks because we're going to talk about e.l.f.'s skincare. That hydration line is amazing. Every piece of it I really, really liked. So we have the cleansing balm, which they also have in, you guessed it, fragrance free. Yes, and it's actually very, very nice. It does leave like a small bit of a film. So it does have a little bit of extra rinsing that I don't have necessarily with my Banilica one, but I really like this. It takes off all of my makeup cleanly and effortlessly. I don't have a lot of issue. I don't have leftover makeup. And in fact, I took off that lipstick last night with it. Amazing. I didn't have any strange coloration around my lips or anything like that. Very nice, very easy to use. And I'm probably going to repurchase this because I like the Banilico. I love it so much. It's actually one of my favorites on the planet. However, it is a little bit more expensive. Next up, we are going to talk about the hydration face cream. Holy shit. Listen, when my face was thirsty, like thirsty, I put this hydration cream on and I was like, who are you? What have you done with my face? What have you done with my dry, angry face skin? It took it and gave it like moisture. I came out looking like a supple ass bitch. And you know what? If I'm gonna be supple, like at a good price point, bitch, you bet I'm gonna be there. Nice price point. I think it's like $10. $10. So US, it's relatively inexpensive for US pricing. I don't know how it would be overseas. The next thing we're actually going to go ahead and talk about is the eye cream, which it's quite nice. I have my own feelings on eye creams. I don't really feel like they do like a ton of shit, but it is nice to have a little bit extra hydration. And sometimes just because I'm being a bad bitch, I just take the eye cream, put it on my entire face because who the fuck is ever going to get through eye cream? The eye cream is really, really nice, moisturizing, hydrating, just very easy to use, and it's not complicated. Feels like a lotion. Lovely. On to the next thing. Mwah. So here we are. It's the end of the video. And if you've made it this far and put up with this bullshit, I'm going to need you to drop that little like Italian hand emoji. The one where it's like, okay, Vinny. Yeah, that's what I said, Vinny. You know what I'm talking about? The one that's like, just this much. Touch me one more time. If you could drop that. But if you don't have that one, then just do the metal hands, okay? Because that would be fantastic. And that is totally it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, do me a favor, like this video, share this video. I mean, if you could give it a thumbs up, that'd be fantastic. But if you want to give it a thumbs down, I mean, do you, boo. It is still engagement, so I'm still going to appreciate it. I mean, but just like don't come back and keep watching me if you hate me because that shit's weird, all right? Thanks. Anywho, huge shout out to my patrons and spooky bays, yeah. All right, you know the drill. It costs $0 to be kind, and it's so good for your soul because if you're not taking care of it, I'm sure as hell coming for yours. Until next time, XOXO, Gothic girl.
Am I just like really scratching my titty? Yes, I am. Almost had it. As well as being kind enough to, oh shit. Yes, I am scratching my titty. Almost had it again. You should scratch your titty. You'll feel better. You're no good, heartbreaker. You're a liar and you're a cheat.